Hey, it's Tina with Ghost Tracks Podcast, and I am here with middle aged and creeped out tonight. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you, Tina?
We're
I'm
doing good.
good.
We're all here, right?
Yeah.
all for the moment and accounted for, right? Yep.
We've already had some technical difficulties. The spirits at play are messing with all the things.
Yeah. We said it's got to be two paranormal podcasts coming together and joining, and the spirit's like, ooh, we went away.
It's like an overload.
Right?
Right?
No, we're doing good, though.
Oh, good, good. Well, we were just gonna I was back on your podcast a couple months ago now. I think January, February time
It was
frame.
cold. I remember that.
Yeah, I think, yeah,
Right?
February or March, something. Yeah. Not
Yeah.
too long ago.
So
Not too long ago.
it was due time that they come on over here to my side and talk to everybody over here. So we're gonna get started. I was professional. I got some questions together, but I just tell us a little bit about your guys' podcast. How long have you been doing it? What do you guys discuss? Those kind of things.
I guess we can all share.
Oh, yeah.
We started in January of 2021, getting it started, but our first episode dropped March 13th, of 2021. Yeah, so a little over 5 years we've been doing our podcast. We have loved doing it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. We talk about the paranormal, anything weird, creepy, unexplained. We have guests on our show, and then we talk about topics, from haunted castles to prisons, asylums, sanatoriums, anything that's haunted. So that's kind of short way to say it.
It's gone 5 years longer than we thought it would. It was a COVID baby, basically. And that's why we got from January to March, we basically all had to recover, and we had a bunch of medical going on. But yeah, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
COVID brought some of the worst, but some of the best things out all at the same time.
Yes,
I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree.
But yeah, that's
Cool. Well,
kinda
yeah,
like our
I know
podcast.
you guys have quite a few episodes under your belt. I think you're in like the couple hundreds, aren't you?
Combined our full episodes and our mini, we're over 500.
God,
I think we just passed 501, 502, something like that. So
I think I have like 40.
that's
You gotta start somewhere.
40 more than a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We
you got a great show, by the way.
Oh, you do. You really do.
Thank you. No,
we were-
I've been struggle busting it this year. My kid is in his senior year of high school and he does sports, and I had a job change, and it's just been one thing after another. So I really need to record. I recorded with Spirits of Marco. They're a newer haunted location in Marco, Indiana that I investigated January, February timeframe. I recorded that March 14th and I still haven't edited it. It's been sitting there. I got the other 2 episodes out, and then I just haven't had a chance to get that one back. So, I'm gonna try and be better. My son
Life
graduates
happens.
in 1 month. So,
Ooh. We saw your schedule book, and it looks like 2 Bibles. So we understand that.
Yeah.
somebody with this thing.
Yeah, there you go.
I've never seen a schedule that huge.
Yeah.
It's big.
Knock somebody over the head.
Mhm.
Tina, I was going to tell you that we planned to do an episode, a month?
No, we said
every 2 weeks
every
or
2
something.
weeks.
And that we thought,
Mhm.
we're going to do that. And I remember panicking, thinking, I'm not going to have time to do all this. And then we got into it, and those first, not even 10 episodes, we were like, we should do this every week. And then we got doing minis shortly after, and it was just one of those things. We were told by the late, great Jerry Polly of Hillbilly Horror Stories. He told us, just make content and keep making it and make more. And he's like, the more you make, that's, the more content you put out there, the more it gives you footing and foundation. And we just done that, and we just keep it, and we enjoy it. So, but yeah, it's into from 10 to 20 to 500 plus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun going out and doing the investigations and stuff. I just have a hard time when I'm done with it doing anything with all the stuff that I've recorded. Because again, life has just been so hectic. When I do get downtime, I'm like, I just want to lay here. I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sit and leave me alone. So, but I am trying to be better. I just I'm just waiting for the calm to happen. So you do a lot of paranormal, mostly paranormal stuff. Were you guys always believers, or was this just kind of a why not type deal
Me
as
personally,
far as
um,
topics?
I like, I've always liked, horror movies and stuff growing up. Um, and then the concept of ghosts and having contact from them or whatnot. And
Mhm.
I always found myself in my younger years, after I got my driver's license, driving around the country and then finding these old abandoned farmhouses and wondering what happened to it, what's in it, is it haunted,
Mhm.
was there a murder there, was it, just imagination going rampant. And so, yeah, I've always had an interest in the weird and unusual and creepy. So, yeah, sort of just takes you into the paranormal.
I'd say these guys drug me,
Mhm.
but I was always a Care Bear fan. That was what my thing. No, I'm kidding. Same thing as Nate. I would like to scare. I like a good scare. Scary movies were awesome. We did the same thing as kids. We would dare each other to go into some abandoned house or old, warehouse or whatever, and just have all these kind of stories in our head. I've always liked the weird and the unexplained. I've been a Y kid and a Y guy for a long, long time, and so when Todd was talking
Yeah.
about doing a podcast, it was like, and doing paranormal, that felt right because it's a lot of fun, and you can't. I mean, you can, I suppose, but we're not going to ever run out of any material because there's always something more to explore.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
I started getting into the paranormal. So like these guys, I've liked horror movies, scary movies since I was a kid. But I remember like around 2002 ish, so 20 plus years ago, I started getting into the paranormal. So I'd get on the computer and look up haunted locations. And so that's kind of when I got into the ghost thing, the paranormal per se. And then, yeah, starting the podcast, it just, blew up because, I didn't know anything about shadow figures. I never heard of black eyed kids or
Uh,
a lot of the different cryptids
yeah.
and things. And so doing the podcast, you learn a lot. And then what the cool thing is about doing the podcast, other than talking about the paranormal, um, or the haunted stories, it's a lot of history. We talk about real places and people, real people
Mhm.
live there or stayed there or whatever. And so you learn a lot. So, it's kind of cool that, yeah, we get to talk about the creepy possible hauntings, but the real castles and real time periods. So it's you get a history lesson too.
Yeah, that's something, that I've said, numerous times that I just did not appreciate history when I was, younger in school when I had to listen and learn it. I had no interest in it. And now I'm like, I can't get enough of it. Like
Yeah.
being
Mm-hmm.
able to see these places and experience them myself and learn, as much as we can about what happened. And I often find myself my husband I think I maybe mentioned it when I was talking to you guys before. My husband thinks I'm a lunatic, but I'll be like, we'll be hiking or something. There's like an old farmstead out there, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what is this ground seen? What have the trees seen and experienced? Like,
Yeah.
can you imagine all the things that they've heard and done? And he's like, what the hell are you talking
I resonate with
Uh-huh.
me. I get it.
Yeah.
I would love to, like, I don't know, have a play-by-play. "Come on, tree, sit down, tell me all about it."
Yeah.
I don't know, he thinks I'm crazy, but,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, it's worked out, we've been together 11 years, so
There
it's
you
not
go.
that crazy.
Maybe he's jealous. He wants to be just like you, right?
Yeah.
I know, he wants to talk to the trees too, but I
That's
don't want to
right.
talk to him.
Right.
Tree talker.
I know I was the same way through school and stuff with history. I I didn't want to
Mhm,
do with it because it was being forced on me. It wasn't interesting to me at that time because it was stuff I didn't really care about learning about.
Yeah.
mhm,
But now, as an adult and diving into historical things for
yeah,
myself, it
Right.
love it. Like my favorite.
Now that I want to do it, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's how it is with everything that you do in life. Is you find your avenue of interest, no matter what it is. And so, I mean, historical stuff, same way. Yeah, you might not want to learn about the Revolutionary War, but you do want to hear and learn about, the moon landings and stuff like that. That you control the seat and where it's going.
Are you saying history is a buffet?
Yes, it is a buffet.
Good. You head right for the dessert, which I do too. That's what I want the good stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think as a kid, I think
that's right.
Yeah, I liked certain history. So like I've never liked World War I and II history. I don't like movies of it. I don't like it. But I was more into like Civil War. So like over 1700s, 1800s, the Revolutionary War. So there's certain history that I was interested in as a kid. And but it's true. It's like doing this podcast, we learn a lot. I mean, we learn a lot about a lot of things, and it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah. My book collection is ever growing.
It's very nice back there.
Yeah, well, there's a whole other case right over here that's full too. I have piles in my bedroom also. I need a whole library to myself.
There you go.
Now, did you guys ever have paranormal experiences of your own, like growing up or as teens or young adults?
I did not. Never had anything that I know of. I mean, maybe something was in front of me and I never saw it. I don't. No, I didn't. I haven't had any experiences until we started doing a few investigations. When we started after the podcast. But yeah, nothing growing up for me.
No.
I have one memory, and I don't know if it was truly paranormal, but I always remember it. Back, I think it's the fourth Freddy movie, Dream Warriors. I believe that's the fourth one. I can't remember. I can't remember the chronological order of them. But anyhow, Dream Warriors came out, and so it was a huge hit. Dokken sings that.
Yeah,
and I remember sitting with my best friend. We're young. On my bed, in my bedroom, I thought it was awesome. I had a stereo system in my room, so it came on. Well, when it was on the radio and it was associated with the Nightmare on Elm Street movie, Freddy would introduce the song and talk about it before the song started playing. And I don't know if it was us shivering and like wigging each other out, but we both felt the bed start vibrating and moving. So we took off running out of bed.
Oh, that's weird.
Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're just shivering because it was freaking us out hearing Freddy on the, but yeah,
never told us that one.
Yeah, I think that's about the only experience that I can recall. And I don't even know if it was paranormal. Like I said, it was two kids freaking each other out.
Vibrating bed either.
For me, I've always dreamt a lot. I had nightmares when I was a kid, but I also had very lucid dreams. So I've had out of body experiences, those kind of things. They got more and more vivid as I've gotten older. And then for whatever reason, when COVID hit, a lot of that stopped, starting to kind of come back. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I don't really know, but yeah, some weird occurrences there. I also had some like preliminary information. I don't know. My dad, my grandfather both had like this sense of things before they'd happen, and they had like, I don't know if it's psychic. My grandfather and my dad used to say that it was like based out of the Cherokee heritage that we have, and I knew before my grandfather passed away, like it was my birthday. I was 15 and I'd stayed the night with my grandparents. I remember my grandfather coming in through the door and like, happy birthday. He was making a big deal about it. And his birthday is So mine's on the 13th of June. Then there's Flag Day, the 14th, and then his birthday was the 15th. And so before he came into the door, though, I heard, and it wasn't an audible voice, it was a voice in my head that said, enjoy your grandfather because he won't be here by the end of the week. And he died the day after my birthday. We had a wonderful day. We had a birthday party, and we kind of celebrated his and my birthday, but it was more, since I was younger, it's more directed towards me. And it was just this perfect day. And but I had that feeling, and I kept thinking, I don't know, that's probably not accurate. And so when the next day, my grandmother let him sleep in, and he never did. He was always the first up, and he'd make coffee. And she noticed that he hadn't gotten up and was just sleeping in, and she thought, it's his birthday tomorrow. Just let him sleep in. And then he slept in more and more. Well, when she would check on him, he was gone. And she called crying and sobbing to my dad, and my dad grabbed my brother real quick, who's 30 years older than me, and he said, something's wrong with your grandmother. I think they've had a fight. She's crying. So they run over there, and I remember playing Nintendo. I was playing the Super Nintendo, and I remember thinking, I already knew he was dead. Like, I knew it, and I'm sitting there playing. My mom said, don't worry, I'm sure everything's fine. And I told her, I said, I think he's gone. And she said, oh, don't talk like that, we don't know that. And sure enough, that's the call that my dad called back and said, he's gone. And she's like, how'd you know that? And I'm like, I don't know, but it gave me a little bit of a ability to grieve first. Then 8 months later, the same thing happened with my grandmother, my mom's mom, and it was in the hospital. And the last night my mom and I were there to see her, it was, as we were leaving, I had hugged her and said goodbye to her. And there was this feeling as we walked out the door, that's the last time you're going to see your grandmother, basically enjoy the moment. And so that night, it was a couple hours later, she'd asked for a drink of water. The nurse said, sure. We went and got her a drink of water. By the time she got back, she was gone. And so and same thing happened with my other grandmother. It was 20 years later, and same premonition type feeling that it was like, and I don't know that it was great, I want to know these things, but something was, but my sister and my brother always say, my family said, well, maybe it was good for you, because I handled the grieving a lot better. I mean, I grieved and I cried and I missed them and all these things, but I seemed to get through it better than everybody else. So, and it also made me feel like there's something else out there, something's moving the pieces around, and it wasn't scary. It wasn't like, haha, we're coming to get it. Not the Grim Reaper, but it was just a knowing. Yeah. And I can't explain any of that, but yeah,
I have that too. It's and it in most things in my life, relationships, just like daily things. Like, I'll be walking along, and then all of a sudden I'll be like it's like a download, I guess is what most people call it, just a download. Like, all of a sudden I'll have this thing pop into my head, and then sure enough, like a couple hours later, something will happen, or it could be as quick as a couple minutes later, and something will happen, and exactly what I was thinking of will come to be, and I'm like, all right.
I had a lady that she was I'm an occupational therapist, and this was my first year or so of treating, maybe the first couple of years. And I was Friday, I was at work late, and she worked late, and we were talking, and we just started how a lot of people you don't have deep conversations with. Well, this girl and I, we knew each other. We'd worked together. She was funny, and had so many interesting views, and we started talking about spirituality. And she stopped me and she said, "You're weird." And I was like, well, thanks a lot. And she's like, but it's a good weird. And she told me, I'm here to tell you, you have something to accomplish in this life. It is something for God. And I hope I get to be part of it, but I'm not sure that I will. 2 weeks later, she was let go of the company because they were downsizing. She had no idea that was going to happen. And I thought, what does she mean that she's not going to be around for, and I didn't know what she was talking about. And then I had, fast forward a little bit, there was, a lady who's still my friend, Mary Sherman. She's the one. She read me. She said that she has this ability to, psychic power, and she does tarot cards, and she's a nurse. And at work, she said, well, sometime when we have slow moment, I'll read you if you want. And I was like, oh, sure, And she had told me that I would meet somebody who I had not met Todd at that point, but she described a guy, and I'm like, I don't know who that is, and she said, he's going to help you bring your stories out. And at that time, we didn't know what a podcast was. And so she told me that I had stories in me, and 2019 was when those were going to start coming. Well, around 2019, 2020, COVID hit. And so that's
Right.
when our podcast came. I didn't think about this until Mary reached out to me about the podcast. She saw a picture of Todd, and he had his what was it? Your Jeepers Creepers, and it's Jeepers Creepers on the Scarecrow. And she goes, "That's what I saw right there. That's on Todd." And she's like, "I saw this like scarecrowy type figure." And then she's like, "And I think Todd's like kind of tall and slender, and there were
Right.
dark clothes." But she said, "I think I was seeing his tattoo." She said that she goes, "I hadn't thought about that in all these years, but that was the person I saw." And so I've started writing since too. And so between cast, it's like she saw all these things in me, and I kept thinking, nobody's ever gonna. I like to write, but I always thought I'm not gonna write. But between that, it's like she saw the podcast before she even knew how to articulate what a podcast was. She described Todd without, and I'm like, nobody is in my life, and that was 2010, 2011. So it was years before all that was to transpire. But and I kept thinking, I love her, and I believed her, but I was like, yeah, sure. I took it with a grain. Looking back now, she was spot on.
Yeah. It's funny how, I don't know, people are so gifted, and even like, and I don't think many of them know, or they're like fearful
Uh-huh.
of what, because that's a problem that I have. Like I've talked about before, I have intense deja vu. It happens quite often, and it scares me a lot of the time. Like I've really tried in the last year or so to really take a step back, focus on what it is, whatever is happening at that moment that has caused the deja vu, to really kind of, I don't know, try to understand it. But before, like, it was full panic mode for me. Like, oh my God, why
Yeah.
am I seeing this again? Like, what is happening? Um, but I think a lot of and people, it comes from fear because we don't understand it a lot
Yeah.
of the time. And I think and that's in a lot of areas of life, right? Like, not just the paranormal, but just anything. If it's scary, if it's, foreign, what, like, you don't even wanna try, because it's unsettling for you. So a
Mhm.
lot of the people that have those gifts and stuff, I think oftentimes it spooks them, and so they don't try to
I
develop them.
I agree with that. And I've dealt with anxiety, depression. I've dealt with like just so many questions, and it is hard. And a lot of people, unless you really knew me, wouldn't even know I had gone through those things. Because I
Mhm.
tend pretty well. But it is one of those things that like I think, and that's why Todd, Nate and I got all this together. The one thing that we really wanted to do was the mental health part of it, because we've all dealt with mental health, and that
Right.
is huge out there. And for me, I was like, yeah, if we can, and it helps us too, and we're pretty open about that, like, the
Right.
struggles we've gone through, and making it a safe place to talk about those things. Because, and then people, like you're saying, they
Right.
don't always know how to deal with some of the things that they're trying to process that doesn't make sense to them. Then we live in a world that we just don't even know what we don't know. And so it can be a very scary place.
Right. And it's overwhelming, especially if there's a mental health aspect to it. I have CPTSD, I have anxiety, I have depression.
Yeah.
Um, been there, done that. Like, I've gone through a lot in my life. Um, and there I've worked really, really hard. I've been in therapy for many, many years, with many, many therapists. I've been on medications and stuff, that I just trying to be a better version of myself, and understand, why things happened the way that they did, and why I react the way that I do. And
Yeah.
so it is hard to navigate all of it, all of the things.
There's a
Yeah.
saying, there's beauty in the breakdown, which is very true in your case. You have this show that you put together, and that you have, you put your passions out there, and that can really help people out there. So all of you, the tragedies you've gone through, there is a light in that, and we try to do that too. We try to put that out there, and I think that's the most beautiful thing you can do. Like you said, try to be the best version of yourself as often as you can. That's a huge thing.
Oh.
Yeah. I did foster care for 4.5 years.
Uh-huh.
And that was something that I said to my husband a lot, was, I don't think that if I had gone through even half of the things that I went through, like, I wouldn't know how to relate to these kids. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't know how to try and help them. I wouldn't recognize certain things. Like I wouldn't. And I think, and I feel bad. 'Ca- I mean, my husband is very lucky. Um, his family is wonderful. His parents have been married for like 50 years. There's no, you know, blended family there. His siblings are full siblings. His grandparents were doting, loving grandparents, his family. His parents were amazing. And this year also he's just like the least traumatized person I know. And I am so traumatized.
We need those
So
anchors,
then when
though,
we
right?
brought in these foster kids, he's like, I don't know. He's like, I have no idea what the hell to do with these kids. Like, I don't know. I don't know. And I used to get frustrated with them and he gets frustrated too because like for him, he's like, I don't understand why you can't just get over this. And for me, I'm like, I don't understand why you can't understand. Like,
Yeah, right.
like so, so it's hard. But yeah, we've worked really hard over the last 11 years, and I had a really I had a a good time doing foster care, as good as it can be, watching kids struggle and go through the things that they have to go through, that the state drags them through.
Yeah.
But I got two beautiful, awesome kids from the foster care system that we were lucky enough to adopt, and I love them more than life itself.
Awesome.
And so, and I don't think that if I hadn't have done and gone through all the things that I did, I wouldn't have been doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so those kids, I don't know where they would have ended up, you know.
Do your
Yeah.
kids or your
And it's
husband
been
enjoy?
my life.
Do they like the paranormal at all? Did they share anything that your interests?
My husband doesn't. My daughter does. The boys all think, well, my biological son does, but not like as deeply rooted as my daughter. The two adopted kids are just like, okay, mom, whatever. You do you, you weirdo. But no, but my daughter is like, she looks just like her dad, she acts just like her dad, but she gets all her cool stuff from me, all her
Yes.
paranormal weirdness.
Nice.
I'm glad to see my DNA held out in some way.
the
It's always a good
weirdness.
thing.
Yeah.
I know you said deja
Mhm.
vu earlier, and I used to have that quite often when I was a lot younger.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not so much anymore, but I used to turn it into a game that when something started to happen, it's like,
Oh,
oh,
did you?
I've seen this before. And in my memory, I remembered the outcome, and I tried to do something to change the outcome. So I just made it a game like,
Okay.
oh, this is deja vu. I need to do something different. And I changed the course.
Not me, I'm, like, crying in the corner, "Why is it happening again?"
But yeah, I haven't had
Yeah,
that
so
in a long time.
no. See, the first time I had it, maybe about 10, somewhere between 8 and 10 years old. I was living in Delaware at the time. And then it was very intermittent. It was, like, maybe once a year or so, but in the last, like, 2025, I felt like it was every week there
Oh,
was
Mm.
something happening, and I was like, "What in the hell? Like, what timeline fuckery is going on here? Give me a break."
divert.
Because it
Mm.
I know it I don't understand what is happening. I don't know what the overlap is. I didn't know. It was intense there it was several months in a row that it was just consistent. Um, and it was very confusing and I didn't understand why. Um, It was happening. I still don't, like, I don't know. I think one of my last episodes that I did was about timelines, and I talked a lot about deja vu and, like, portals and stuff like that, and I don't know what hopping around timelines, like, what I needed to be doing and where I needed to be and why, but good gravy. Give me a break.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I think my two favorite ways to express or to talk about deja vu, and I don't like one of them. One of them is they're neurologically they talk about it being like a seizure disorder. But so many of us have it. It's like, wow, do we all have seizures? You know, like because I've had it too. And the other is, like you said, that we're living so many of these like timelines all at once, and it's really our mind is not developed enough to be able to understand when we shift timelines, and so I find that so interesting. It is so hard to think about that possibility of that multidimensional reality.
Yeah.
I feel like we're shifting towards it, especially with quantum physics, but
could you just even imagine like where we would be as a species if we used, more than, what do they say, like 10% of our brains?
yeah.
I don't even know what that reality would look like. But yeah, I love a good timeline talk. So
Yeah.
like I was so excited to do that episode. Doug came on and talked about it with me, and I was like, when I was telling him what it was, I was just like, and then, and he was like, okay. I had all my papers, and I was like, listen. So, with everything that you guys, because you do, how often do you guys do investigations? Is it like a couple times a year, or?
Yeah,
Not as often as we want.
That's a good answer. My answer too.
It's hard to get our schedules together. It's hard.
Yeah.
There's three of us. We all have kids. We all have jobs, and even trying to getting to like local places, it's hard. I mean, we've been to a few.
Yeah.
Just went on one almost 2 weeks ago to a place for the second time here in Mitchell, Indiana, Whispers Estate. Yeah, we've been to Waverly Hills, Indiana State Sanatorium twice.
Bobby Mackey's.
Yeah, that was a tour.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky ducks.
And we went to Randolph County Asylum.
So I'll be there in June, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, so we've kind of done about half tours, half investigations to maybe a handful of places, but not as many as we'd like. It's just hard. So.
And do seeing those places and like having the discussions and research, does it really does that like solidify to you guys that there's just more out there? Or does it kind of make you a little skeptical?
For me, it's definitely solidifying having the experiences. Yeah, because there's certain things have happened, especially Waverly Hills. That one was very interactive with us, and just going through those things, it's like I can't explain that, but it happened. I mean, you guys heard chains rattling. We heard footsteps out in the distance.
Whisper.
I had a man's sigh in my
sigh.
Left ear.
Balls moving on their own.
Yeah, balls moving.
When there's no wind, no vents.
Floor.
Shadow figure at the end.
Yeah,
we all saw a shadow figure.
So it's like
there's something out there that
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think, obviously, my group of friends growing up, obviously we were all paranormal weirdos. We all liked the ghost thing. We all liked the other side. We all believed in everything. But do you think with the introduction of the paranormal investigations and stuff on TV, do you think people believe more or are more skeptical of it? Because I think a lot of the TV stuff is, I hate to say it, but I think a lot of the TV stuff is staged. And I think a lot of like YouTubers and stuff, I think just sensationalize trying to make a name for themselves. Not everybody, but I do think it happens more often than not. So I feel like for the investigators and the people that truly believe but are trying to do it from like a scientific point of view, it makes it harder for us.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the TV shows, like, they got to have ratings.
Yeah, they got to produce.
So you got to have something.
Right.
It has to be entertaining.
That's why I don't watch them. I don't watch those shows because it doesn't do anything for me, because I know probably 99% of it's fake. And like Nate said, they've got to entertain. They've got to produce something for the viewers or who's going to watch. a show of just
Right.
people standing around, and nothing happening. So they have to conjure up stuff, to
Right.
make stuff up
Yeah.
for the product to be seen. And I'm not into the paranormal shows at all.
We've heard some people say that too. They've said like some of these TV shows will come in and like, well, we'll shoot it this way and we'll make it look like this, and they're like, guys, you don't have to do any script. Like, just hang out in the place and it'll show you like this stuff. You don't
Right.
need to drive it. And they're like,
Mhm.
oh, really? So yeah, I agree with that. It does taint the well, and I even with my experiences in my life, I'm still a very science-based and skeptical person. But doing this
Right.
podcast and all the stuff that we've heard, and then the things we've experienced on top of it, yeah, it's made me more of a believer for sure. And I think it's funny if you get down to the brass taxes of it with people. People are normally either afraid of it, or they really, if they don't understand it, they don't really want to talk about it. I had a lady today, actually, it's a good example. It's my patient. She's she's Christian. She is very strong in her faith. And they have a dog. She's got the cutest little Scotty named Maggie.
They're so cute.
Maggie just comes out and was like staring and barking at something, and I thought it was just kind of maybe traffic, And she said, "No, she does this all the time." And I was like, "Oh," I was trying to explain it away. She said, "I think something in here," and I was like, "Really? You think that?" And she goes, "Yeah, I think it's something like paranormal." I was like, "Really? Let's talk about that."
You might be right.
It's not that people that you don't expect to have those conversations with.
Mhm.
You do.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I end up in those conversations a lot. So maybe I just bring it out of people. I don't know. Um, but I haven't had too many people aside from my dad that like are steadfast in that that is not real or that it is demonic. Like my beliefs are demonic, and like I need to go
Yeah.
pray it away. And I'm like, okay, like I don't think what I'm doing is demonic. I think I am just trying to find what truths I can,
Yeah.
and I have the experiences that I have, and I know that I have them, and I know that I've told you guys like I have had those dreams like about my daughter being a girl that my friend had passed away. And he told me she was a girl in my dream. I saw that ghost for the first time. I was like 5 or 6. Like I've had so many paranormal um experiences, and a lot of them at the beginning, like I wasn't looking for any of those. Like, they just happened to me. And there's got to be a reason why, and it wasn't that I was doing anything wrong to have them. Um so it just, I don't know. I think it's a very close-minded person to like shut it down, especially so quickly, or to call it evil. Um when really all you're trying to do is expand your knowledge and your mind.
Mhm.
Um, so,
Well,
uh,
that's how everything works.
Yeah.
I mean,
mhm,
you gotta
Curious, yeah.
investigate
That's
it
why we invent. Yeah.
to know
right.
what's going on.
Yeah.
Mhm,
It's curiosity. I mean, we go into a place. It's like we're not doing anything bad or evil. We're not. Our intentions are just to investigate, just to see
right.
what is out there. What is causing some of this. I mean, I work at a Christian church for my job.
Mhm,
And I go to church. It's a non-denominational. My staff, most of, not every one of them, because we've got some new employees, but including our senior minister. I mean, they know I do a paranormal podcast, and I go. We go to these places. They don't look down on me or make me feel like I'm doing something that I shouldn't. It's all just yeah, like Nate said, it's just yeah. You got to investigate. You got to check it out. You got to see
Mm-hmm.
what what the possibilities. It's and on top of it, like we had 2 weeks ago, it's fun. It's
Yeah.
real fun.
Would hang, right? Yeah.
It's addicting. It's like tattoos. When I first got I got 3 the very first time, and my ex brother-in-law said, "Watch it because you're going to want to get more." I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine with 3. I've got 36 now."
They're like Pringles.
Oh my goodness!
Can't just have one.
So no, but seriously,
No.
we go on these tours and investigations, and we're like, that's why we're like, oh my gosh, we've got to do more because it's addicting.
Mhm.
It's fun.
Yeah, if I had
It's the
the
unknown.
money, I'd be gone all the time.
Oh
just
yeah.
exploring and taking the photos because I love taking pictures. Actually, we went over to Indiana, the IPSI that I work with. They're the investigative group that I am usually out with. I think their very first kind of like graveyard, like mini investigation that they went out and did was at Dixon Chapel. And so we went out there. I'd never been out there, so I drove out there with them one afternoon, and they just wanted some like footage and stock photos for themselves and their websites and social media stuff. And so I went out and I got all of my own that I have not finished editing yet. But I just like I love doing just like that piece of it. Like I love documenting it through photos. Um and then the videos and so which I usually forget about the videos because I'm too busy with the cameras and the pictures. But um and then just hanging out in the space is I just like doing that. A lot of the time I'm not even talking. I'm just experiencing and standing back, witnessing, um, and just listening. Like if it's got something to tell me, it'll tell me,
Mm-hmm.
kind of a thing. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the anticipation.
Yeah.
To me, when I was a kid, my dad always his big thing. He's always big on is the anticipation. Like say Christmas, I was busting. I couldn't wait. He's like, oh, but the anticipation of like what is in the present? What's in the box? And I never understood that as a kid. I'm like, what are you talking about? I want it now. I can't wait. I don't like anticipation. Now as an adult, it is anticipation. It is
You save it, right?
you look forward to, and then it's like what could be around the corner, what could be in front of us, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, we're going to Randolph County in June, and I am just like, is it time yet? Because I want to go.
You been before?
Mm-mm.
It's
No,
pretty neat.
I don't know that any of the team has, and if they have, then I think it's just been like a daytime tour, but I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head how many may or
It's a
may
cool
not have been, but
place.
I've
It's
never
a very
been.
cool place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
so I'm
history.
I'm very excited. I've
They
seen a
let us do
lot.
a meet and greet there. We bought like, shirts and stickers and wristbands, and then
Mhm.
so they let us set up a table, and as people came in, we were, meeting them, and we got to, promote the podcast. And
That's awesome.
but we did a tour. They gave us a tour, and yeah, really cool place.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very neat.
Sean had an experience
What was
I
that?
did.
down in the basement.
Oh yeah,
Yes. So there was what was her name? Doris. Doris was
something.
the.
I'm not sure.
So Doris was there since she. I want to. I don't want to get this wrong. She was dropped off basically at 12, and it was one of the like when they answered the door, it was like it wasn't like, oh, come here, honey, and we're gonna take good care of you. It was like, what skills do you have? And she's like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm a 12-year-old girl. I like to cook. They're like, okay, well then you're gonna go with the cook, and so then the cook like trained her, and 2 years later the cook died, and guess what? She's now the cook. So she was there for part of her life. I think she left, and then she came back, and then she ended up spending the rest of her life there. So she's very well known. That was her kitchen, and
Mhm.
so it was one of those things where down there, I felt like I saw her, like I felt her, and they said, you might actually see her. And I want to say it was just like the part of her,
Mhm.
and it was wild, but I was like, hi, Doris, just kind of. And
Hello.
then there was, I know what you're talking about. The other one, there was another
in
one.
the one dark room.
There was, okay, so we were during the tour, it was on the opposite side of the kitchen. Then there was this little dark corridor, and it was it was kind of
It was like a double room.
and it was where they did like punishment and stuff, right? And they had to like do timeouts there, or I don't know, maybe I forget what the story was, but we were back. So I was in the back, and Austin, an investigator friend of ours, was in front of me, and then the guys were in front of him, and it was what they whispered in my ear. It was like, hey. Yeah, it was just, hey. And then I thought somebody was screwing with me. So I turned around like, haha, like one of the guys in the back, just come doubling around to say, and then right there. And I said to Austin, I go, somebody just came up in my ear and like went, hey. And I go, but nobody's back there. And he goes, are you kidding me? And so when we were in the hallway, basically I got around in the group, and there wasn't a huge group, but one of the girls there, she was a teenager. And she was like, who's the one that said they heard something in their ear? And I was like, that was me. I said, I can't explain it. I don't know. And I explained it to her. She goes, somebody did that to me too. She goes, I heard a voice in my ear say, hey. And so I'm like, that's weird. And so she's like, I felt like I was losing my mind. And she was there with her boyfriend. She's like, I tried to tell him and he thought I was crazy. And so, yeah, I had forgotten about that. I was thinking all about the doors. Yeah. So yeah, it's a cool place, and it's a place that makes you feel, they say that's what they told us when we got there, is that those spirits call to you, and places do. It's like, oh, it's time for you to come visit. And I've never been there before, but they were like, no, they pick and choose who they want to come see them. And so I don't know. I think that's cool though. But yeah, you'll enjoy it.
No, I'm excited. I know the rest of the team is too, and I think the last time we did an investigation was in March, so we're like, hurry up.
Tell Doris I said hi.
Long.
A picture of Doris in that kitchen too, like her.
Oh, is there? Okay.
So if it's still there, I'm sure it is, but that's her kitchen. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll make sure to say hey.
They have an old refrigerator. Remember that old refrigerator? It's like a wooden cabinet refrigerator. It's down there, and you can go in there. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
That's in the kitchen too.
Nice. No, I'm so excited. Like we've been looking forward to it. I'll probably do some research. I'll probably do an informational episode on it before we go. And then do the, debrief afterwards. So for you guys, aliens, ghost cryptids, demonic entities, time slips, which feels like most believable? Or do you kind of believe in all of it?
For me, it's ghosts and demons, because I believe it's my faith, and I believe in angels, and I believe in demons, and then of the ghosts, cryptids, aliens, it'd be ghosts for me. Still, yeah, I'm not a big cryptid guy. Aliens, I have never been a big alien guy. Since the podcast, I'm kind of a little more into it. I can get on board with it's a pretty big, universe out there. We can't be the only ones, but I'm still not 100% sold on it. But
right,
ghosts and demons for me.
I love cryptids, but I think a lot of them are just stories. Yeah, I'm really interested in like the ghost and demon stuff. Don't necessarily want to encounter a demon.
No, I don't either. I don't either. Truly believe that.
I certainly wouldn't sign up for that.
Yeah. I think with a lot of the evil around the world, I mean, that is a perfect way of explaining some of that, because some of these people that do these outrageous things seem like they're just out of their mind. There's no
the influence.
Yep.
Demonic.
Yep. They don't have a conscience about anything, morals or nothing. I mean, just everything's out the window.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, would you say that it's more of a possession thing, or do you think it just kind of they walk among us?
Well, in my opinion, and I think, again, coming from a faith aspect, in the Bible it says the devil's this is his world. So, and his demons are. I mean, I've heard it said before: wherever there's an empty pew, there's a demon sitting in there, or sitting in the seat, or in the pew. So they're in this. I mean, they're on Earth. They're could be right next to it. Who knows? I think, like Nate said, like these people that do not everything is demonic, but a lot of that stuff is demonic influenced, and it's spiritual battle that we can't see around, ongoing, all the time around us. And I mean, there's plain and simple, good and evil. If you can't have one or the other, if you have good, then there's got to be an opposite, or if you have evil, there's got to be an opposite. That's my thoughts of it.
Yeah, Tina, from all that, I'm a all of the above guy. I find it all interesting. I'm kind of with Nate about the cryptids that it's possible. If it is, it's interdimensional, but I do think it's a lot of folklore. But I don't know. There have been some strange things sighted out there. I just don't understand why we don't have more concrete proof. But I'm still open to that. I think they're aliens. I think they're demons. I think all those things. I think so. Here's a weird thing. So one of the out of body experiences I had, and I never. It's not like I was like, "Hey, I'm going to try to get out of my body." I would just wake. So I have this. I have a dream. Like I'd have a really vivid dream, and then I would be doing something important, or I'd be with people that, and all of a sudden I start spinning, like in my mind, and I feel this spinny feeling, and then I start going out of my body and into space. And one of the times, so I would, if I got anxious, I would wake up and then it wouldn't happen. So I started thinking like, if this happens, I'm just going to see what happens. We'll go with it, you know. Might be a little dangerous, I don't know. But one time I got out and I was out in space, and in my mind I was able to think, now before you go exploring the cosmos, turn around and see the Earth, because I'm a big believer. Like I don't believe in this flat Earth stuff. I want to see the round ball, you know, the ball and the globe like it's supposed to be. And I turned around, and I don't know why, but when I looked at it, it was covered in gray mists. And I remember thinking, because I'm outside of it, and I was outside of my body, and I had no like limitations. And honestly, I wasn't really. It's not like I'm thinking about war and how awful the world can be. All I thought was, we got a lot of work to do there.
Right.
But I couldn't see anything, just gray mist over what was where I just. And so I was like, okay. And it felt like an eternity of just exploring the cosmos. And I don't know how long it was, probably not very long. And then they talk about that silver cord, you know, that's connected to you. As soon as I was like, okay, I'm ready to go back, it just felt like I dropped back into my body. And it's this very physical thing. And then I wake, and sometimes it's very emotional. But that one, the one with the looking back at the world, and it's like, so I mean, I know. I mean, all we have to do is turn on the news to know that evil does exist in the world. And I believe when I was a kid, I always thought, you know, very much comic booky, you know, good versus evil. And then as I got older, I'm like, I'm getting too old for that. No, it really is comic book good versus evil, where the spiritual battle. I believe that more and more every day. Now having children in the world, it's
scary.
It is. It really is. You have to be a light in a sometimes or oftentimes dark world, and that's what we try to be. And
I think that's the hardest part for me with my kids. Like, I have 2 that are grown and already out of the house, and then I have the last 2 that, you know, are one's in their senior year, one's in their junior year, and I'm having, obviously, the most difficulty with the youngest one.
Yeah.
Will be graduating and, you know, being an adult next year officially, and obviously, I've struggled with all of them, but I'm like, this is like, I'm literally entrusting the world that is an absolute shit show to take care of all 4 of these humans, these babies of mine, and be good to them. These
Yeah.
kids that I've tried really, really hard to like make good, you know, and have these good hearts and caring natures, and they do, and they're wonderful. But now I'm like, they're gonna get eaten alive out here, and that's
Yeah.
scary. Um, and so I struggle really, really hard with that, and specifically with my youngest, because I'm like, there's only so much I can do after they are gone, and I can't control everything anymore,
Yeah.
and that, like, that worries me. So I definitely believe, I believe that evil walks among us all day, every day.
Huh.
Um, in human form, just out there. I believe in just evil people. Um, but I have seen some really freaking good people out there too. I've been very lucky to know, you know, a lot of them that have helped and tried and loved and have given of themselves in ways that like they had nothing left to give, and they're doing it anyway. So,
Yeah.
and that's somebody I strive to be. And I usually end up getting screwed a little bit while doing it. But I know in this last year I was like, I'm never helping another person again, because this last
Easy to
year
get
really
jaded,
messed
right?
me up. But I like, even just feeling that way made me so sad, because my whole life all I've ever wanted to do was help people and make a difference in whatever way that was. Because you know, helping somebody, it looks different, you know, person to person. So I don't think I can ever actually shut myself off to that, but I definitely feel that, because the world is just, it's just so hard out there
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Um, obviously, I believe in ghosts. Cryptids, I definitely believe in cryptids. I definitely think they're interdimensional. I think that that is why there's not as, like, as much concrete evidence surrounding them, um, is that they just have that way of being coming and going. Have you guys ever watched Hellier?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was interesting. Did you
Yeah,
watch both of them or just the first?
first.
Just the first one? So they have 2 out, and I would love to see so they're it's done by Greg and Dana Newkirk. Um, I would love to go see them because they travel with their, museum of haunted items, and they travel around the US and stuff, and they bring these items with them,
Oh, cool.
to show, and I listen to their podcast, I've watched both Helliers, and I'm just like, "Y'all scare the hell out of me, but I wanna meet you so
Yeah, right.
bad."
Well, I heard about it from you when you were on our show. You had mentioned it.
Okay.
I had never heard
Yeah.
of it, so I checked it out. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Really good view.
But same thing, like interdimensional things with the little creatures in the
Yeah,
caves down in Kentucky, and I'm
yeah.
just like, I mean, it makes sense. Same thing with like the Loch Ness monster that there's a theory there, and obviously Bigfoot being interdimensional, and that's why he's not ever been like fully seen. Um, and aliens, y'all, aliens still just scare the My friend was talking about him. She's like, "They don't wanna take you," and I'm like, "I don't believe that because I've been scared of them my whole life, and
Mm,
why would I have been scared of them as a toddler? Like, I don't even
yeah.
know what an alien was." But literally, I can remember being a toddler and just it just scared the crap out of me. My older sister is same. She's just terrified of them, and I don't understand where it came from.
Yeah.
So,
I've never put a
I
lot of
was
thought
like, "We were definitely taken, I swear."
into you were you're abducted. Yeah, I don't even pay attention to it. Like even in the news. I mean,
Mhm.
literally right now, President Trump or the whoever could announce
Yeah.
and show 100% proof that there's aliens. I'd go, oh, cool, okay. I'd go on with my day. I don't care. I don't care if there are aliens. I don't care if there isn't. It doesn't matter to my life. I don't.
I think it's interesting. There's more talk about like submersive type stuff that's under the ocean.
Yeah,
That
but
there's more
Mhm.
instead of it's like we've always thought about it from being interdimensional or outside
Yeah.
out there, and but now
Out
it's
in,
like
like,
oh
in
they're
space, yeah.
yeah and they're with us. So it's interesting. And I think I'm very skeptical because when they start talking about it, it's like oh good lord, what kind of things are they trying to figure out to
Divert our attention from.
yeah, exactly right. And if they're gonna really talk about aliens, oh good lord, what are they trying to hide?
Right.
I always liked The Abyss when I was
I
growing.
love that movie. I
Mhm.
just watched it not too long ago, actually.
yeah, it's a good movie.
Scary.
Yeah,
That is a real good. Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
seen
But
it
yeah,
one
the
time.
ocean scares the crap out of me too. Like, my husband's like, "We should go on a cruise." I'm like, "We should not go on a
Stay on my land. Yep.
cruise." No, thank you.
Well, there's so much of it has been, like we know a lot more about space than we do our
Or
ocean.
yeah, our own ocean. Yeah.
So, like, what is down there? We have no idea.
Right. Yeah. No, and
Crazy.
I don't really wanna I don't wanna find out.
Well, it's
For
like we
sure.
have submersibles that can get to a lot of the depths, but the problem
Mhm.
there's no light, so
Right.
the only thing you can see is as far as the light can carry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
And
not far in,
no,
Total darkness there.
the
Yeah.
whole
dark like
vastness
that.
of the depth,
No, it just swallows
like
up the light.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's
That's right.
like, yeah, you
So
can go down there all you want and you still won't see nothing.
Yeah.
no. So, okay, remember when the anglerfish, and that thing
Mhm.
was all going
Mhm.
around? Who was shocked by their size?
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that is the thing of the deep that is scary as hell. Like, that could maybe bite my toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I was so shocked when they actually showed it, and it was, like, this big. I was like, "What?" Yeah, I had no idea. So,
Until
move
you
on
meet
to
the giant squid.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Who
Yeah.
lives
yeah,
next door?
Yeah.
yeah, oh gosh. I mean, ocean creatures are cool and all, but
Mhm.
yeah, just it's so vast. And
You
there's
want
no way that we could even think to explore all of it,
Mhm.
and find everything. I mean, I feel like there's something new coming out of the ocean every day. Like there's always something that they're discovering or finding a new species of this, that, and the next thing. And so, yeah. Mm-mm.
I know, speaking of aliens and ocean,
Mhm.
we recently, me and Sean and our families went to the Atlanta Aquarium.
Mhm.
We're on spring break. They have
Yeah.
they have beluga whales. I've never seen them in person.
No?
Huge.
They're
Pretty cool.
huge. When you
fluffy.
see them,
They're fluffy.
Uh-huh.
they look at you, and all you can think of is there's intelligence there.
Oh yeah, they're so smart.
It's
Yeah.
just out of this world.
I haven't seen a beluga whale since I was a kid. I want to go to the Georgia Aquarium really, really bad.
Mhm.
I was gonna go 2 years ago, I think, and I hadn't made it out there. My
Hey, but
sister
whale shark,
lives,
yeah.
not too far from Atlanta, so I'm like, really, I have no excuse. Like, I have a place to stay. So, um, I'm definitely gonna try and get down there, but I hear that it's a really, really neat aquarium.
It's
Mhm.
And
awesome.
for somebody that does not even like the ocean, I love aquariums. Like, they are my favorite thing. So, um, I have some, like, silly questions for you guys. Let me see here.
It's the tree one. I know
Wow.
it's the tree.
Sean hugs trees.
I'm a tree hugger.
I hugged a tree on Sunday.
Yeah?
I was at Turkey Run and we were hiking. My friend and I were hiking, and it was just this big ass tree. I don't think she was like, I didn't know Indiana had trees this big. And I was like, ow, hi, friend.
Oh.
And I just walked up to it and I hugged it. I was like, I get size.
They're power stations, right?
Yep. I love a good tree.
Yeah.
Okay. So if a ghost haunted your house, what is the one household chore that you would demand it do?
The laundry.
The laundry.
Dishes.
Ooh, dish.
Dishes for sure. I'm a dishes. Like, please do those for me because I ate them.
I like doing laundry, so it's not that. Dishes doesn't bother me. I would say like dusting, like
Yeah.
getting all the crevices and the tedious job of wiping everything down and dusting pictures and frames and all the little trinkets and shelves. Dusting's
I
a
got a lot of that, so dusting would
Dusting is
probably
a
be a
lot.
good one too. But
I would say that. Yeah.
Knickknacks.
So
dusting for sure.
let's get to it.
Hedges household.
Yeah. And I have a cleaning business, and that's all I do, in my job. I mean, I set up for events, tear down too, but like I do cleaning. And it's like the last thing I want to do is clean, and
Yeah.
when I was married, I mean, we kept a nice house and we both chipped in, but I was like, some days I was like, that's all I do. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it at my own house. So it was Yeah.
I cleaned cabins for 4 years, and the last thing I want to do after cleaning 2,
Right.
3 homes was
Yeah.
come home and clean my own dang house. So
I know.
Mhm.
I know it.
totally understand you there. If you had to be haunted by one famous historical figure, who would it be?
Ooh.
Oh,
Oh,
gosh,
my
that's a tough one.
gosh.
Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham.
Abraham Lincoln.
I know the guys are going to think I'm going to say Abraham Lincoln, Al Capone, or Winston Churchill, but I'm going to go with Mark Twain. Mark
Oh,
Twain. Oh, he'd be hilarious.
So,
He'd be hilarious.
for me, gosh, let's see. Famous person?
Babe Ruth.
No.
That'd be great.
I really don't know if there is somebody I would. I might have to get back with you on that, Tina. I'd have to. I'm
yeah, I
struggling.
don't have an answer either. I was looking at it and I was like, who? And I'm drawing a blank. So,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what would be worse, a demon in your basement or a Victorian child ghost that whispers your name at 3 a.m.?
Oh, a demon in the
Demon
basement.
in the basement, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can handle the whisper.
Yeah.
Kids are creepy. I don't know that I'd want
Creepy.
a Victorian child. They're real freaking creepy,
If they got black eyes, they're really, yeah, no.
right?
Demon for me.
A demon.
Yeah.
If you could trap one annoying living person in a haunted doll for eternity, who would it be?
They're going to say me. They're going to say me.
That would be Sean.
That's Sean.
I've got a list of people that I'd be putting in some dolls.
Oh, you've got a list.
I have a whole list.
I can say my mother-in-law. No.
Oh,
My mother-in-law. No.
No, I don't.
I don't know.
I've had a few bosses in the past that
I was
I
gonna
wouldn't
say
mind trapping them
there's
in
some
a
people probably don't want to name by name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
coworkers
But
maybe.
you know.
You know.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd say one of my.
I
Yeah,
have really good
I can think of two or
coworkers,
three.
but none of mine would make the cut for that.
Mm. Nate, you got one?
All right, here's some
Can't
would
think-
you rathers.
Oh,
Oh,
Would you rather spend the night alone in a haunted asylum or a haunted doll museum?
asylum.
I'm gonna go with the doll museum. That's
Really?
creepy though. Yeah.
No.
Asylums are rough. Asylums are
No,
rough.
I'm going
But I like
asylum.
asylums. Yeah. If I had to
think
do
I'd
it by
be in
myself,
asylum.
I don't know. I always want to be with somebody else. Honestly, I'm not much for doing this by myself.
I don't want nothing to do with any dolls.
No dolls. Yeah.
Would you rather see a full apparition or hear unexplained whispers every night forever?
I'd rather see a full apparition.
I think
Apparition.
the full apparition. I'll go with. Yeah.
Right. Come here, buddy. We'll be friends. Would you rather see a shadow person or a child ghost?
Shadow person.
person.
Oh, we've seen a shadow figure.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
And I'd do that again. I want to see one.
Freaking
So,
creepy.
yeah, I'd want to see one again. Pretty amazing.
Yeah. And then I think you guys have already done Waverly Hills, but would you rather investigate the Stanley or Waverly Hills after dark?
Oof.
I like to see the
Waverly.
I like to see the Stanley though, since I've never seen it. So, but Waverly was amazing. I mean, it's top.
Yeah. I mean, I love Waverly. I'm going to go back so bad. I'm just going to say Stanley just because I haven't been there.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason. Yeah.
I love The Shining.
I haven't been to either, so and I am dying to get to Waverly. So
Yeah, you'll enjoy.
definitely want to go.
Yeah.
Do you have like a haunted location that you think is overrated?
Hmm. That is a really good question.
That is a good
because
question.
of all the topics we've talked about, Tina, on our show. I mean, we have, like I said, over 500 episodes, and man, like
Amityville, I know has been,
yeah, that's one
that
that's
comes to my mind.
been debunked, or people try to debunk it more.
They say the Conjuring House, but I'd like to still see it. You know what I mean? Like,
I would definitely love to go to the Conjuring House.
oh, I'd love to. Yeah,
I know 2 people have been there, and they're podcasters, but they went on an investigation and they said it was a dud. And I'm like, I still like to go, but they were like, nah, there's nothing to it. But well, when we went to Whispers Estate the first time 4.5 years ago, we had hardly anything, and then this 2 weeks ago we had all kinds of craziness. So it's just one of those things you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, and you have to think too. I think houses, any location really, they're going to interact differently with everybody that comes in there. So it kind of just depends on the person, I think, too. Like for some people, maybe the house, I think the houses kind of get agitated by some people, honestly. And maybe that drums it up, while others are, more calm, and in the house maybe just as like, okay, like I don't mind you being here. So yeah, I don't know. Everybody's got a different energy to it, and I think that the spaces that we go into also have their own energy. So, and sometimes, maybe it's a high energy, and sometimes maybe it's calm. But yeah, Whispers, that's another place I'm ready to get back to, because I only went the one time, and I was running on no sleep, so I had to leave really early. So we'll have to get back out there for sure.
Yeah.
But it was, I saw that thing on the ceiling literally before we even started. So,
Yeah.
so I'm sure it's got a host of things up its sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have an underrated location?
She has good questions.
That's a great question. I've got to
Underrated.
Stump us.
See, I haven't been to a lot of places, so I don't have, and I haven't looked up a lot of places either. Like I know the big ones, Billy Creek. I know a lot of people A, either don't know about it, or
Mhm.
B, are like, "Oh, there was nothing," or, it was, quiet, blah, blah, blah. Billy Creek was so freaking active for us that night. I definitely think everybody should go to Billy Creek and check it out because
I'm gonna go.
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
And the town itself is really cool. They're actually doing Civil War days there this weekend,
that's
which I think would be neat to see. Um, and they're doing like some reenactments and stuff like that, and then
Mm.
everybody in town is dressing up in period clothes. So,
mm,
but yeah, Billy Creek, definitely think everybody should go there and check it out for an overnight.
I listened to a 30-minute podcast about a week ago on Billy Creek.
Mhm.
Man, it was really good, and they were just there was story after story. That's what I was telling these guys. I'm like, we got to go,
go there. Yeah,
and we got to talk about it because it sounded
Yeah.
awesome. Like just all kinds of stories because yeah, there's multiple buildings and
Mm-hmm.
Right, they
it,
come
it,
from different places, and
yeah,
so yeah.
I was really impressed. I was like, okay, this is cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
I
And
feel
again,
like
it's so pretty.
I feel like
They really did a good job.
more and more people are talking about the Indiana State Sanatorium, and I think
Mm-hmm.
back when we first kind of discovered it, it wasn't real well known. And they said it was up and coming, Waverly of Indiana, and
Right.
I think it's gotten more notoriety. More people seem to know about it. So I think for
Mhm.
a while that was underrated, but yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, it was very quiet for us. Like, we had some stuff, um, but it wasn't like, it wasn't super busy, but Billy Creek, so we did, ISS the first night that we were out, and then we did Billy Creek the next night. And we had, like, intelligible stuff at Billy Creek, like, touch this thing or touch this thing,
yeah.
like, touch this one for yes, this one for no, or
Mm,
just touch that, like, it was constant, and then there was, I had played Ave Maria because
mhm.
it was in the we were in the Catholic church, so I played Ave Maria, and our, REM pods were going off, and they, like, were getting louder as the music was, like, getting louder, and then it, like, got quieter as the music got quiet. It was the craziest thing I've ever
wow,
seen in
yeah,
my life.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
It was really, really cool. I don't know if you guys saw it. I put it up, on the socials, but, um, there were clips that I had recorded there at the Catholic church, and we were telling it, to I don't remember exactly what we were asking, but if it was an adult to touch the one, if it was a child to touch the other. Maybe it wasn't that. I think they were just trying to, like, get it to touch one versus the other, and the other one went off, and Curtis had repeated himself, and we were kind of explaining to the entity that, there were 2 of them, 2 REM pods sitting out, and we would like it to touch the one versus the other, and then the spirit box went off, and it said, "I'm trying," and I was like, "Holy shit."
Oh,
And then right after that, the one that we had asked to touch went off.
Wow, that
So it was so crazy, but that's on our socials. Um, I have that clip up there, but and it was I when we were in there for probably 2 hours, and it was pretty active the whole time.
mm,
So,
Hmm.
yeah, it was really, really cool. Definitely go to Billy Creek.
yeah, we will.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Um, Spirit Box, creepy or corny?
Hmm.
it's creepy, but I'm not sure I buy it completely.
Mhm.
I've seen it both ways where it's like, ooh, this is really scary, and then other people, I'm like, this is
Right.
BS. So I kind
Yeah.
of both ways with it.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could take it or leave it.
Right.
I think it's a
Um,
fun tool, but yeah, take it.
yeah. I think with all of the paranormal tools, though, you really have to make sure that you are doing your due diligence, like with the EMF detectors and stuff like that. You have to do a walkthrough. You got to make sure that there's nothing that can like be setting those things off. If you're doing a spirit box session, you got to have somebody under that you can trust that's not going to just be yelling out bullshit, and making things up. Because I have definitely had some people go under where I'm like, okay. um, sure. Yeah, super, like, like you're yelling out all this stuff, and then I get in there and it's like pretty much dead silent. I don't think so. Um, so yeah, I think everything you kind of have to take with some sort of skepticism at the end of the day. But also you just need to like check yourself that you're making sure that you're using it responsibly and you know
Hmm.
what to look for, what could be happening, debunk it as you go.
Yeah.
We do that a lot. So, um, Ouija board. Would you touch one?
I'll start. I've done it one time. I was 18 years old, so that was 37 years ago, and I was with three of my friends, my best friends since kindergarten at the time, and then we had two girls that we all worked at the same drugstore, and of course it was like it was nighttime, it was thundering and raining, and perfect setting for it, right? So we tried the Ouija board, and I mean, it creeped me out because I mean, to my knowledge, I wasn't moving the planchette, and they said they weren't, and we were asking it questions, and it was answering like personal, like it knew.
Right.
I'll never do it again. And my ex-wife, we had a football party at our first apartment, and we had like 20 people there, and half of us were in the living room watching the game, and then my ex-wife and mainly her friends were in the. It was a dining room, but it was kind of like a sports room. I turned into a sports room, and they were
Yeah.
and they had a. I don't know because I don't think we had the Ouija board. Somebody brought a Ouija board, and they were doing it, and I was like, "Did you knock it off? It's not like stop doing. It. Oh, it's just a game." I'm like, "I'm telling you, and so
Right.
no. So to answer your question, I've done it once, but I'll never do it again. Yeah.
I had a old girlfriend that thought it'd be fun to buy one, so she bought it. For whatever reason, left it with me. I never took it out of the box. Finally, way. It's like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
So,
You never know.
I did it. Yeah, we did. We thought it was funny. We thought it was cool. Didn't understand what was happening and how I was doing that. We thought, oh, you must be doing it. No, you're doing it. And so it was kind of just a plaything when we were younger. And but I've heard so many horrible stories with people and not opening, closing correctly. My grandfather, he had one, and he was a fairly, he's a Christian and believed it in God. And I don't know what possessed him to ever even play with it, but he obtained one, and he thought it was kind of cool. And I was too young to remember this, but my brother, he was young, but he can remember that he sat down with my grandfather and they were playing with the board, and they were just asking it normal questions, and it would answer. And my brother said, I thought my grandpa was just like controlling it, and it was all gag. And at some point, though, it started spelling out, and it spelled out, I want your soul. And the curtains started shaking, and it was just like, yeah, my grandfather, like, basically kind of freaked out, and he was a very calm person. But he took it out back and broke it over his knee and said, never again. And so my brother's like, I was so little and didn't know what was happening, but I remember him like saying, well, this isn't right, and this is evil, and getting rid of it. So that sticks with me. Like, it can be something that if something evil or demonic takes it over, yeah, you don't want anything to do with that. So
Yeah. So I do have one, but I have it downstairs. It's in, I call it my dark art room. It's literally the very first room you walk into my house. So everybody knows without a shadow of a doubt that I'm a weird ass. Um, that's where all my stuff is. And I keep it just up there on the shelf. But the planchette is actually up here in this room on a whole ass other floor.
Yeah.
Like I don't keep them together. Um, and I have it's like this little itty bitty Ouija board. It was a gift. It's the tiniest little thing ever. But it's up here on another shelf. Like I don't keep those things together. I would I would probably utilize one during an investigation in certain places.
Sure.
Definitely not all of them. I don't know that I would ever do it in like an asylum or anything, given the energy and the things that happen in those places in the past. So I think I would have to be,
in a haunted doll museum.
you no, I wouldn't do
You're
that
like,
either.
no.
A prison would be bad too. Prison would be awful.
Yeah. So I would do it, with discretion there, but I know how to open and I know how to close it, and I actually carry cleansing stuff with me to all of the locations. I have cleansing spray. I have sage and I have white copal. So I have all of those things, and I have strong boundaries these days. So I'm gonna be like,
good.
y'all need to stay on that side. Like, you are not welcome.
Lay down the ground
Um,
rules. Yeah.
That's right.
that's right. Um, and I guess the very last question I have is there a haunted location that you would never enter?
I can't think of any for myself. I mean,
We've covered so many, and I think we just about all of them. We've said, "Oh yeah, I'd go." And I don't know that I would want to go to places by myself, but I've
no, I
always
wouldn't do it by myself.
investigate with other people.
There'd be probably no way of ever getting there personally. That church in Germany where I think it was Germany where they the Nazis were lowering people into the pit.
Oh yeah, that's a gosh, what is that called? It's a castle.
Yeah, castle.
It's got a hellhole basically.
Yeah, but they built a church over top of it, and you can hear scraping on the floor.
I can't remember the name of it, but it's got a great name.
Either.
Yep.
we talked about it.
We talked about it.
I can't remember half of it. Like, I'm like, did we do this? Did we do that? Oh, I don't remember.
Huska Castle.
Huska. Yes, okay, I do remember.
I knew it'd come to me.
I'll have to
We
look
said
it
it and then remember. Okay.
Oh, you should totally. look it
Yeah,
up.
I don't think
In
I'd
Germany,
step foot in there.
Yeah, they had to like make sure that because there was like weird, creepy things around the forest there too that they think escaped from the freaking hole. So yeah,
And it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing out there or other than this
gateway to hell.
Yeah, makeshift castle.
Some crazy.
That was in Germany.
I believe so. Yeah,
Germany is Huska. Yeah,
I'm making notes.
Hooska, something like that. Like that may be it's something like that.
Yeah, all these places.
It's a real thing too. Yeah,
All these places we talk about. Like I said, I don't think there's a place I wouldn't go. But like Sean, I wouldn't go by myself. I don't. I mean, nah.
I'm always like, I'm not scared. And then I'll be left in a like an area of a place and like a creep will happen and I'm like, where's everybody?
Yeah, all right. Come back. I didn't mean it.
Ain't coming out.
Right.
it's like Gene Wilder and Young Frankenstein. Let me out of here, you son of a-"
Yeah.
Oh man.
It was, when we were at ISS, it was just me and Molly in the administrative building, and there the rest of the team was down, in the where the rooms that you can rent, like in the office. They were all down there getting the rest of their stuff, and we were like, we'll just wait here. Was that the castle?
Yeah.
Or church? Mm.
It's bigger than I remember.
That's a big, scary, weird building.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, we knew we were the only ones in there, and we were just waiting for them to, gather their stuff and come back, and then we were going to start walking around and doing the investigation. And we're standing there, and all of a sudden, like steps across the bed. I was like, "Hello, who's there?" And she's like, "Do you hear that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I hear that." and it was like one right after another. It didn't sound like an animal. There was no scurrying or anything like that. It was distinct, like steps. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go stand out on the stairs and wait. And I think I had messaged the group chat and I was like, Marco, where's everybody? I'm in here by myself, and all I could think was, God, I hope it's a ghost, because if there's a human in here that's unaccounted for and I don't know who it is, like, I'm not trying to get murdered in this place.
Right.
That's a good point. Yeah, for sure. Sometimes it's the living is better than the dead.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, living is much more scary than the dead. I'd hang out with the dead people all day long. All right, guys. Well, tell everybody where they can find you.
Want to do that, Sean?
Sure. We are on any listening platform, basically. If it's out there, we're on it. So, go listen to our podcast. You can reach us at makopodcast@gmail.com. That's 2 A's. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I wouldn't call us TikTokers, but we're on there.
Yeah, and we drop full episodes every Wednesday evening, and we drop our mini episodes, our middle-aged minis, on Saturday afternoon. So you get double the creepy with us. So
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you guys so much again for coming on and hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. It has been a lot of fun. I know we had the technical difficulty there in the beginning, but
The spirits, right? Yeah.
we put through. The ghost left us alone. So
yeah, that's right. Well, no, we appreciate you having us
Yeah.
on, Tina. We really
thank
do.
you,
We
Tina.
love
We
your show,
appreciate
and yeah, thanks for inviting us.
yeah,
Mhm.
thank you so much. And then I guess I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks
Yeah. June 20th.
at Greenwood Happy Haunts and
It's gonna be fun.
all the fun places. We got some Paracons coming up in the area, so
Nice.
we'll catch you guys there.
Sounds good.
Well, you
Awesome.
guys have a great night. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right.
Bye, Tina.
All right,
Thank you.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.